some problem. There is some problem. Yeah, here we are. So everybody, hi, hello, namaskar, what's up, everybody? This is Shubham Thakur here, and welcome to Shubham Thakur's Live. And today we have our guest, Ms. Marta Kondryn, Head of People and Culture at Mindvalley, and the author of the book HR Atlas: A Roadmap to Healthy Organization for Startups, Small and Mid-sized Business. Welcome, ma'am. Welcome to Shubham Thakur's Live.
Thank you so much for having me, Shubham. I'm very excited. It's actually my first ever YouTube live in ever that I did. So I'm excited about this, and thank you so much for having me. Really, it means a lot to me.
Yeah, thank you so much. So, ma'am, as I saw some of your videos and some of your journeys, that was really exciting and really fascinating and very inspirational. So, I would like to request to give you a brief introduction of yours and your and the journey of your life to people. Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Ukraine, and now I'm tuning in and I'm residing in Malaysia, in Kuala Lumpur. And I'm part of this education organization and technology company called Mindvalley. So I started. I've been here in this company for 7 years, and I really see this not just a regular career; it's a service, and it's a passion of mine as well. So I also treat this as if it's my own company. And I'm personally passionate and doing everything that is connected to people, culture, business operations, and in general, very passionate about really building healthy and sustainable businesses. In my free time, I try to talk a lot and to share my ideas. I write as well. The book HR Atlas has been written and published this year, and I'm also supporting various projects, business projects for my friends, and also personally, I believe that all people should have different dual careers, and I practice it as well. By learning various skills and trying different projects and passion projects, I encourage other people to grow themselves and grow their career as well. So this is briefly about what I'm passionate about, and excited to talk more today about these things.
Yeah, so that was really awesome, ma'am. And as I know that Mindvalley is one of the world's leading personal growth platforms, so could you please tell us what Mindvalley exactly do?
Mhm. So Mindvalley is started as this small company that was promoting meditation products and
Yeah,
selling them online. And in the span of 17 years, the company grew in one of the most leading companies in the area of personal transformation. We actually like our big goal and mission is to encourage people to pursue lifelong transformation, and we really don't believe in the traditional education. And like you probably have experienced that. I experienced where my university actually it didn't give me much, and unfortunately all the knowledge wasn't practical, and it didn't help me much in life. All my practical experience I gained
yes,
outside of university, right? And it also doesn't teach us the essential life skills on how to start our companies, right? How to motivate people, how to take care of your well-being and mental health. All these things Mindvalley
yes,
wants to cover for people. And we do it in different ways. We have our technology platform, so where people study online. We have community of people, of learners who study together. So you're not alone in this journey. You have your accountability group, community, and we do events. Now it's online. Mindvalley University, prior to that, it was big events in different cities around the world where
yeah,
people will come and study together. So this is in a nutshell what we do. We're also a very diverse company. I'm
yeah,
Ukrainian, and we have around 60 different nationalities working together under one roof. And this
yeah,
creates a very unique culture that is not, it doesn't make us it makes us a very unique and amazing culture type of company rather than just a corporate organization. And that's another thing that I'm passionate about too. And I really think this makes us really strong as a company as well.
Yeah, that's really good, and that Mindvalley is doing really great because I saw the videos and the team, especially that was really unique, and the idea was really unique, and the thing which Mindvalley is doing, that's completely great. So, ma'am, so Mata, as you know, that COVID-19 has affected all of us in a very different manner, right? So what do you think that the companies and especially startups are doing for their growth or the survival of the company, especially in the COVID time? Yeah,
hmm Yeah, it's very challenging times, and I cannot say that it didn't affect Mindvalley. Of course, it affected us as well. We have a big events side of business, live events, and it's how people learn, and many people find out about Mindvalley through events, and all of a sudden we couldn't do them. We couldn't connect with the community, so we had
yeah,
to transform the business into online. And I think the key word that COVID forced all of us, individual businesses, organizations, governments, is really to go through different types of transformations. What I noticed and what I read as well is that the type of transformation that was much needed, but we were always either postponing, or we didn't have time, or we didn't find important. And all of a sudden, all of us locked in our apartments, right? And in our countries or cities. And we have to face that. For
yeah,
businesses, it was I know some of the businesses really had to all of a sudden they couldn't sell physically, right? So they really had to ramp up their online presence. And I have amazing examples of people who and companies who really transformed their online presence and increased their sales and doubled their sales. For some companies, it was the call to optimize, meaning like,
yes,
what are we spending really money on? What are our resources? How can we optimize that, reduce unnecessary work, automate, clean, create the systems and documentation much better. So bigger companies saw this was the call for COVID to do it. Unfortunately, I am not saying it was like all, like
yeah,
positive stories of transformation. It was also tough, and I think uh, this was also a great call to for many companies. And if you are listening and you own the company, and maybe you are still like going through troubles, maybe it's also another time to redefine what is the company stand for. So I'm a strong believer, and I recommend to everyone this book, Built to Last, From Good to Great. Jim Collins, he writes about companies who exist for centuries, right? And if
yes,
you read that, you will see that these all companies have very similar set of characteristics. And one was very important is really understanding, why does our business exist? And the more clear you are, the more understanding you and your team is about, actually we exist in order to make something better in this world. So I think COVID also pushed us to be reminded, why do we exist as companies, as organization, and
yes,
be very clear. And those that have this this purpose and this mission, I think they managed to find the way through this difficult times. So it's not easy, it's very tough, and it pushed us to really see our limits. But at the same time, I personally believe it was needed for all of us. And also I noticed the same in people, personal transformations. Some of the things, issues that we as individual didn't have time, or we were avoiding, and all of a sudden we are sitting with ourselves with these issues, and
yeah,
there is no way out. You cannot go to work, right? You cannot like rush to something like, oh, I will be busy. All of a sudden you're sitting with that um, feeling, and you have to deal with it. So it's probably a blessing in disguise for all of us.
yes. So one more thing that has after the COVID and the pandemic happened, and it is still going on, unfortunately. so
Unfortunately.
yeah. So what do you think that that people have adopted the remote working culture, that they like to work from their home? So what do you think when someday it has to end it? So what do you think that working from home is really good, or working in the office and interacting with the people in face to face is it good or bad? So yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, and it definitely has transformed that this feeling, and many companies, including us, we already announced that we will not open office for next year. That's absolutely true. Same for Google,
Okay.
same for Facebook. Everyone tells their employees to work from home, and really like the office space had to be transformed in a way where uh, like finding this balance where you can get this type of interactions for a little bit, but then because you don't want to risk it, right, until the the COVID vaccine, and we really conquered this, right? We resolved this issue. But to be honest with you, I think there is no like clear answer about that, and it's very challenging for companies to find it, because we also see that I think it will force us to rethink our working hours. It's already proven that when you're working remotely and from home, you're actually working more hours. So usually by
Yes.
1 2 hours more than before, than if you were in the office. And I
Yes.
know
Yes.
some people already start bringing, do we really need to have 5 day work week, or can we make it shorter but still accomplish as much as if we had 5 days work week, right? Because of increasing this daily hours. So I think like this will open another conversations that we will start having. What are actually the working hours? Do they make sense? The amount of working hours, do they really make sense? Because the previous model is actually coming from very old school approach to work, right? You come to the
Yes.
factory, you deliver, you come back home, and it's very like control regions and outcome based, the current hours that have been set. But with COVID and with remote work, employee is actually in control of the hours. They are much more in control than before. And to me, this will push us to redefine actual hours and duration of work. And I think it will be for better. And I think it will increase the productivity and overall well being of employees at work. Now, of course, it's very important to note that um, uh, a remote working from home, it's challenging for working parents, right? My sister, she's a working mom, and she doesn't hide that it's challenging, even though like she loves her kids, and she's a very amazing and wonderful mom. But it's very challenging for both of them to have a kid who is 1 year old and work remotely effectively. Half of the meetings she couldn't attend because her son wanted to attend with her, you know, and all things like that. So for parents working remotely, it's been very difficult times. And I really want to acknowledge and appreciate all working parents for all this time, because it's been uneasy. So we as companies need to also um, like define what are actually our expectations of working parents when they're
Yes.
sitting from home. How are we actually addressing that? What are the schedules that we are building for them to accomplish? Are we supporting them with any childcare that we can? So definitely there is no standard. The old approach will not work. We will not come back to the office minimum for 1 year. We will be working from home until that time. But at the same time, it will also push employers to completely redefine the work, definition of work, outputs, working hours, benefits, and so on. And I really think this is a great challenge to solve, because we will come back with something new and something better for businesses, including. Yeah.
Yes, that was really insightful. And first of all, that as people are working from home, so do you think that productivity increases for each and every company, or that there are some differences, right? When we work in the office, we can first interact with people face to face, and there was some kind of vibes, some corporate vibes, which really help us to do work more productively. So yeah, that is if this thing happens, so we have to face it, and we have to be more productive as we can, as productive as we can. So as there were so many grad students who are who want to work in such companies. So what do you think, that what are the essential skills to work that one person have to work in the corporate world? Yeah.
Uh-huh. Essential skills.
Yeah.
I think very, very important skill, and I'm basing, of course, a lot on Mindvalley examples on whom we prefer as hires. For sure, we value fast learning speed. So being able to learn as fast as possible, it's super crucial for us. And taking this initiative for learning, and instead of waiting that somebody will teach you or somebody will show you how to do things, I instead like being very proactive in self-learning and self-growth. This is
Yeah.
super important, and it's even ability to learn has been identified by the recent World Economic Forum as number top 10 skills needed for the future of jobs. So
Yeah.
ability to learn and cognitive ability to learn and fast learning is one of the top skills that will bring you and will give you a job in the next 10 years. So this is also super important. And by that, I mean also not only just consuming information, right, or listening, but actually reflecting about it, journaling about it, making some conclusions, and trying to adopt it in practice as soon as possible. So, so this is number one, right? We spoke about it. Number two, it's I think more and um, more companies and like it's also a great skill to have overall is entrepreneurial approach to life. And I mean by this, not like just this, like wish to make money and to be rich, right? This is important, but it's not about that. It's about being, like open and willing to solve problems in an entrepreneurial approach, and one can actually practice it while being in company. So you don't need to have your business to practice this entrepreneurial approach. You can be entrepreneur inside your company, that being a full-time employee to a salary employee, by noticing the white spaces, the issues, and really trying, okay, I will try, I want to volunteer to do it, I want to solve it, I want to find a solution, I want to gather people and discuss with them what could we do about it. So this type of approach, I think it's very, very valuable for companies, and it's amazing skill to have in life, because if you master it in your company, then you will be actually able to survive in this like very highly competitive environment, right? And finding the job will not be a problem for you, because companies will value that. You will try different skills, and you will actually become high performing. What I noticed that the most high performing people are actually super active learners, and they always want to try something, to do something, and see if it works, if it
Yeah.
doesn't, if it sticks with them, if it not. And I think like it's actually very important for companies as well to recognize that and to give these opportunities for people. Then they will stay longer, they will contribute more, they will feel important, motivated, and so on. So cultivating these two soft skills is super important. Now, speaking about the hard skills, uh, it's um, it's very, we will see how things will evolve in general in job market. But of course, um, I wouldn't, I'm not a believer that you should have like, let's say, digital marketing, just only digital like marketing will lead you to success in career. I actually
Yeah.
think that your profession doesn't really, or what you study doesn't really define whether you will be, like successful in the job or in general in life. It's more like the approach that you take to this and what you will do actually with this knowledge, with this background. That what will make you employable and more successful and more stand out against other candidates.
Yes. So that was the one skill, and that digital marketing, as you mentioned, that is highly overrated and as well as essential for growing for the growth of yours in the corporate world or anywhere. But I think that the management skill is really important, because if you don't know how to manage things, then if we have such a skill, we cannot get the productive outputs for the company, right?
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Shubham,
Yes, yes, yes.
I think it's important, but honestly, because I actually met amazing specialists who didn't have to manage anyone, but they were great
Okay,
at their craft. They were great
okay,
at their approach, and it's good. And I believe in management. I love leadership opportunities, and I try to work with people and to achieve something with them. So I'm more in this area. But I also met people who actually didn't want to be managers at all in their
okay.
career. They just wanted to be amazing specialists, and that's actually super valuable if you realize this for yourself and you open about it and you actually say, hey, my strength is actually in what I deliver, in the output that I deliver, and it's actually super valuable too. Then don't try to push yourself in management just because everybody talks about it. I'm
Yes,
not
yes,
talking
yes.
about you, it's just a general about
Yeah,
people,
yeah,
like, yeah.
yeah. So that's one of the thing. And as we all know that COVID has really really hated us in terms of everything. So what do you think that how to build a successful company in these time in the pandemic? Yes.
hmm I haven't built my own company in pandemic, even though I
Yeah.
tried different projects. But I think, of course, it's very very challenging, and I admire all entrepreneurs, who
Okay.
still
Yeah.
do business in these times and who believe in their idea and who have this approach. It's very like it's so inspiring. I can't describe. So I really really appreciate what they do, because also they push society forward too. The people who create jobs, right, and boost the economy. My advice is actually will be really to focus on the most important and nailed it down. Because even from our end, probably this time actually made us much more focused and on what's the most important and what actually brings, including revenue, what brings the satisfaction from customers. So my advice, if I may say so, even though I'm not a successful entrepreneur, but from my observations, I think being focused in the business and in your company is super important. And not trying to do everything, halfway, but instead doing one thing that you're good at and that brings result. So narrowing the focus and staying focused, I think this could help to build the company. And then if once things are good and we're back to prosperity and the COVID is over, I think that's the time when you can try and pivot and try different other things. But being focused and even doing a bit less, but with the
Yes.
better quality, I think it's important at this time. And of course,
Okay.
personally, Shubham, advice to also entrepreneurs is really to take, especially those who are starting, is really to take their well-being and mental health seriously, because we
Yes.
don't talk about it. And actually, a lot of entrepreneurs, they experience silent burnout. They feel that they can't share with anyone because they need to perform, and they have this company, this huge responsibility, and they don't pay attention to it. And society actually doesn't talk about it. But many entrepreneurs experience anxiety, depression, burnout. So noticing that and really prioritizing your well-being and health as a founder and CEO, this is
Yes.
another key to success. So so please, guys, take it seriously, really, if you want to play long-term game.
Yes, and the another factor for the successful company is the culture. So,
Absolutely.
I would like to request you to please tell us how to build a healthy culture for the company. And I really, think that the culture is very important, because when employees are happy and everyone is doing the work and share the same vision as yours to make this a company successful. So yeah, that works a lot. So please tell us how to build a culture.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So let's start, Shubham, with the thing. What is actually culture? What is company culture? Right? It's actually how people work together, and the
Yes.
as well. The better they work together, the better is the culture, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
and like knowing this, okay, this definition is super important, because sometimes I feel we overthink this idea of corporate culture, and we try to create all this complicated processes that will that will complicate more things rather than reach the end goal. So when people work together, super important that these people are a right fit for your company, and not only fit, but they're also contributing to it. It means that sometimes they might be different in their approach, and they might be different from you as the founder. And knowing the value of this difference and knowing how these people will contribute and enrich your culture is a very crucial decision to make as the founder. At the beginning, of course, when you start the company, you tend to bring people who are very similar to you, with whom you like working, or who actually agree to work with you, because maybe at the beginning
Yes.
you don't have enough money to hire experienced people. So you're asking your friends,
Yeah.
right, to
Yes.
support
Yes.
you. But then the more company matures, and the more like the more successful you want to be, the more diverse people you have to bring, diverse and smart and amazing people. I'm also I'm a big follower of Netflix and how they run their business, and of course their culture, and I really resonated with it, because they always talk about hiring really smart people who are also can are able to work with each other because their values match, and then giving them space to do amazing things, right?
Yes.
And by giving space, it means to reduce and remove this unnecessarily HR procedures that we might have, or rules, or like thick rule books on how you should apply for holiday, right? How you should give feedback to each other, and or how to like descriptions on how will you grow, and this scores and so on. All this, in fact, don't matter in the bigger picture of running an effective team. What they prove,
Yes.
and I also like from my experience as well, the moment you focus on bringing really smart, amazing people and trusting them and giving them opportunities to do amazing things, the better your team will become. And you actually won't need to micromanage them. You won't need to have, like these procedures, as I mentioned. You won't need to control them in a way. You will give them freedom and responsibility. So this is something that we also been practicing and implementing a lot in Mindvalley. We also believe, as a part of our culture, is grooming amazing leaders and middle managers. So we spent, as a part of, it's actually a core element of our culture, spending time training and discussing the right communication, the right
Yes.
feedback,
Yes. Yes.
upskilling the management skills is a part of our culture. Now, another element of company culture is, of course, we speak about like the office environment, the snacks, the benefits, and the perks, right?
Yeah.
But to me, they play, in fact, they play like a secondary role to me. And as a HR head of people and culture, in fact, I focused less on that, and instead I was really creating opportunities for people to play at their best. So the people part in that, it was super important. And as I said, giving them space to perform at the highest, and also creating the environment where they will interact with each other in their best self. Another, so benefits didn't actually contribute a lot to building a great culture in Mindvalley.
Yes.
Um, Another important factor that we realized and we took as a part of our culture is personal growth. So whenever a person joins Mindvalley, we give them this promise that we guarantee that one part of your life will be transformed, and we believe that this part will be chosen at some point by invisible forces, and it will be. And there are so many amazing stories of transformations that our employees went through. Different, some people lost the weight and became like super fit and amazingly looking individuals. Prior to that, they had problems with obesity. Some people really rediscovered their childhood traumas and worked on them and faced them and were able to overcome them and be in peace with them. For some people, it was even like career, discovering their career. And I think that was probably my story as well, because I never imagined that building healthy organizations and culture could be something of like huge passion, of something that I think, at least at this point of my life, it's
Yes.
something that I live and breathe by, so Mindvalley played a key role in that. So the idea of personal transformation is also, it's super important for us. We coach our managers to help team members to reach their personal goals, not only company goals, but something that is important for them. For example, we also value morning routine in the morning, and we give space for people to have their morning routine, to meditate, to do exercise, to eat healthy. And that's why, for example, we start our meetings in the mornings at 11 a.m. In some companies,
Okay.
it's not possible. You have to start at 9, right? You don't
Yes,
have
yes,
time to
yes,
read
yes.
a book in the morning or do a
Yeah,
course.
exactly,
We, al-
exactly.
we allow that. So that's another part. And I also encourage many companies to not only ask employees to invest in their company missions, but companies to invest in employees' mission and dreams and goals.
Okay, that was really helpful for everyone, and I think we need to apply that kind of culture in here in India. So one more thing, as you told me in the beginning of the session, that you have 60 people from a different session. So their culture is different, their upbringing is different, their mindset is completely different because they live in different nations. So and so what do you think that how is like to be in the people in how is like to be in the company where people are from different nation, different culture, and what is the role of role of a HR in the in the company, and what kind of strategies you apply for hiring process? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We call Mindvalley office a mini United Nations office because of so many nationalities,
Yeah.
and it's I cannot imagine another work environment anymore. I can't work in just one monoculture anymore. That's spoiled already.
Okay.
Um, so of course, HR plays a key role in upholding the culture, in guarding it, in growing it, in finding people who will contribute to it, as well as working with leaders and managers to grow it. In all my honesty, we never had any problems with based on the culture differences, because I think like our hiring process is focused a lot on about that. Even if you visit our careers page, you will see that we talk a lot about unity
Yes,
uh,
yes.
and looking for people who believe in unity, who don't have these nationalistic ideas, right? Even though like I'm quite patriotic about my country, but I'm not the nationalist, right? That says it's only the right way. So I think already at the hiring process, we filter the people who wouldn't fit into so many cultures. Um, and then uh, and then also our I think our customer base is also super diverse. That's another factor that contributes to that. Our customers, yeah, for longest time were mostly in US, but now we started to localize a lot of our products and translating them in different languages. We actually this month we're launching Mindvalley in India, so localized
Okay.
markets as well. But coming back to that, right? So what do we do with hiring? So hiring is very unique in Mindvalley. It's it used to be when I joined a few years ago, we were only selecting people based on videos, right? So people had to record a YouTube video about themselves for for 3 minutes to talk about your mission and how it is aligned about Mindvalley. At that time, it was good, and for the growth that we wanted, it was good enough. So we could filter, right? Instead of 100 resumes, we would receive 10 amazing videos of people who already did the homework. But we also realized if we want to scale it, the company, if we want to hire more, it actually slows down the process. So we changed a bit right now the process. So people will still send their resume, and only the filtered people resumes will be asked to do the video. So it's a bit like changed right now. This is needed to speed up hiring in general. We what else do we do? So one is of course super important for us is the employer brand. So you will see a lot of Mindvalley employees being active on LinkedIn,
Yes.
and writing a lot. That's a part of our strategy as well.
Okay.
You will see Mindvalley being very active in this organization called ISEC. It's a student youth organization that many of us were part of, including myself. And we support ISEC a lot, and we regularly hire from ISEC. And this have been like some of the most amazing hires for us. It's our strategic partner too. We do a lot of referrals, so our employees bring their friends and people that we will interview, of course, and they need to
Yeah.
pass selection process. And we also spend a lot of time training the managers and leaders on interviewing and selection process. It actually has been the key to success for us, like
Yeah.
really investing. And by that, Shubham, I mean like really a lot. It's like weekly training just on interviewing, because we want to remove all the unconscious bias. We want to increase inclusivity for different candidates. We want to increase diversity. So all these things are super important, and managers are responsible for this. So yeah, so that's how the process looks like. Right now, and it's been very effective so far, but of course there is never end to perfection, so we always improve it. I can say.
Yeah. So the hiring process is very the strategy you apply that was really good because we need to identify how this person works and how it's gonna be more productive and how it's beneficial for our company. So here's come the question that give us like what advice will you give to the people who want to start their own company or and a startup or I can say it's more specifically for me. So
Uh-huh.
yeah,
A very good question, Shubham, and I wish you all the success, and I know it will be
thank you so
successful. I
much.
believe in you. um, when you start the company, and actually I was when I was writing my book, I was reflecting a lot about it, because I also wanted to speak to somebody like you, actually, Shubham. If I were
Oh,
to start,
thank you.
how do I build my team? How do I find people? How do I actually organize the work? I'm not saying about some like strategic plans, or just organizing basic things, right?
Yeah.
So So I think um, to me, super important is I believe in partnership. So really, really finding, if possible, the partner. If you are by yourself, then having an accountability group, right? Accountability group, by this I mean not your friends who like you and who know you very well, but the
Yeah.
people who are actually on the same journey as you, meaning that
Yes.
they start the company and they're almost at the same journey as you. If you are like have two people company, try to find the same type of CEO who has also like two people and wants to grow and ambitious, and have regular conversations with them. You will not believe how much effect in your journey it brings, because once again, entrepreneurial journey is very lonely journey, it's very
Yes.
ungrateful, and until you reach your results you might spend 3 to 5 years.
Oh,
So being ready for that and having the supporting group since the very beginning is incredibly important. Number two, of course, I told today, we spoke about the focus. It's more important in COVID times, but also when you start. Um, because when you start you have all these ideas, right, and you want to try this and that, and try all these social media channels and everything, but the moment you start like spreading yourself to think and trying to focus on everything, that moment when you actually lose the trees for the forest, right, the saying that you don't see anymore the big picture. So really like knowing, okay, at this point of time I will focus on that and I will execute on it, and then I'll move to the next one. I think this discipline is very important when you start. And the third one, to me, what I also noticed is it's very hard to actually hire the team and be able to delegate. Um, I think it's very important to hire the people at the beginning. By this I mean, let's say if you have a startup and then you definitely need online marketing specialists, right?
yes.
And it's like you are strained with money, right? You have this amount of money that you can invest and you don't have much more. So what do you do with that? Would you save it and like and see, okay, I will prove, I will sell something and then only I will hire, or will you invest in hiring someone? I believe that investing in someone and hiring and making the right decision of hiring is very important.
Yes.
So, and because that will give you more even confidence on hiring, more confidence in working with people, and also will allow you to focus on a bigger picture. So don't be afraid to hire, to hire your first people. And if the money is the question, and of course it might be, to me, I think it's very easy right now to find the resources. Even like, like asking your friends, asking your family, going to venture capital. Of course, it depends on what's your relationship with that. But
Yes.
finding the money to support your company is actually not a problem anymore. You know,
Yeah.
more the problem is staying focused, using this money in the smart way, and actually growing the team small step by step. So Shubham, it's my recommendation to you as well. If you have a thought about like building the team, I think it's super important that you do.
Yes, for sure, for sure. Thank you so much for these great advices for starting the company, and the session was really, really great, and I'm really honored to have you on my show.
Thank you so
So,
much.
first of all, so at last but not the least, that Martha is launching her book, relaunching her book on December 15, named HR Atlas. So, could you please tell us about the book?
Mhm. So this book is has been written during COVID times. It's a very honorable thing as well for me, and it's actually like written in a very simple guidebook for somebody like you, Shubham, who wants to
Yeah.
start the company and wants to organize the teamwork, to build the culture from the beginning and to set it for success, on how to deal with different situations as a leader with team. And it has a lot of practical examples as well for running different business processes. So one one thing is good for young entrepreneurs, startup founders, small company owners. It's also good if you want to discover HR profession as the career, and and there are actually, in fact, there are many good HR books, but sometimes it's very hard to put into practice all of those.
Yes.
So the book has been written like really as a practical guide. So I expect you after each chapter to be able to implement these things right away in your company if you are an HR person. And thirdly, it also actually talks a lot about being building different dual careers. So as I mentioned, right, I don't believe that that only being in one job will not only not give you growth opportunities, but also will actually threaten your position as a talent in the job market. So I advise there and share my practices of really being successful in multiple careers, and not only for the second income stream, but also for seeing your limits, seeing what you like, and discovering yourself and seeing what you're good at. So the book is also for those who maybe at this point of time still discovering their careers and want to try different things. So I give practical advices there as well on that.
Okay, that was so good. So thank you so much, Mata, for joining me for this session and give so much information about how to start a company. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me, Shubham. I've really enjoyed our conversation, and I wish you all the best in your all adventure in your university, and I will look forward to your success story.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll be honored. I'll be honored. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye bye.